so personal. When we gotta separate over an emoji for 2 weeks, I got a problem with that. I got a problem. I don't care.
Than the emoji
I don't
because
care
of
what happened before.
happened. It would not have been.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is, you know what time it is. We are talking to you today, guys, about Put a Ring on It, dealing with Tamika and Vince, episode 9. Yes, we're going to talk about their particular relationship and the fact that they never saw anything actually out. Sorry about that. Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Hey guys, we're talking to you today about Put a Ring on It, season 1, episode 9, and we're talking about Tamika and Vince. And yes, we're going to talk about the fact that they never really saw anything out. And so guys, if you are new to the channel, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, make sure you like, share, subscribe. You click on that bell button for notification of the what uploads. And for those of you who are returning as well, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, cool. Let's get into the video and let's talk relationships. So, dealing with Tamika and Vince, I think what's really interesting about them is the fact that I feel like they never sorted anything out. Like, they had a whole argument at the very beginning of the show where they're talking about the fact that she said about the emoji thing, he's talking about messing up, she's talking about the fact that he doesn't take accountability, and he says, obviously, I've already owned up to it, and then it goes round in a circle, and then at the very end, it's like they make...
It's okay, black man. It feels good to finally end the argument, and I feel like I can trust him enough to come to him with anything.
Made up, but they never really sorted it out. And I think this is their problem. Their problem is that this argument is, for me, is the clearest thing of day, yeah? It's never going to get sorted out. And we are going to revisit this thing in another year's time, yeah? Or something else is going to trigger Tamika in another year's time until he comes and says, I take accountability for what I've done. Now, he says he's owned up to it. Owning up to it isn't necessarily taking accountability. Sometimes I told you about apologies and how sometimes our apologies aren't enough because they do not take into account what you've done. For instance, saying I'm sorry, I cheated can be enough for some people. But saying I'm sorry, I know I played around. I know that girl that was in the house, yes, you were right. Look, so long as he doesn't, from what we can see, bearing in mind, I've interviewed them both, right? And I felt like that he hasn't told the full truth. She told us extra bits that we didn't even know that had happened. So for me, at the moment, until he comes clean, because even listen, this is them talking from the show is done. And they're talking and telling us, and I'm looking at it going, hold on a minute. Like, so if you can't get the story straight, which means there's something not quite right about the story, which means you still haven't got your full truth, Tamika. And at that point, you have a choice to make.
Go right back into the same song and dance that we have been used to.
It just kills me when we go back to that and have to keep talking about the same thing over and over and over.
I keep saying it week in, week out. At that point, you have a choice to make. Either you do it or you don't do it. Either you do it or you don't do it. It's very simple, right? And so for me, watching the show and watching them two, the very first thing they were kind of saying was that Vince admits that he's to messing up. Messing up what? What did you mess up? What did you actually mess up? What part are you saying that you messed up on? Or are you just saying that you messed up?
I messed up, but until she can let it go, we're always going to be in this boat.
Very vague. Every single time, if you noticed, it's vague. It seems like, do you know what I mean? Like, he came on a live and he explained part of it anyway. But it always seems to be vague. It always feels like there's potholes missing in the story. And so for me, it's like, oh, okay, then this issue isn't going to get sorted. So if anybody's watching this as a relationship, this is problematic. Because if you're Tamika and you have a Vince and you have a partner and who's not really being totally honest about the indiscretions that they've committed, how are you ever going to trust them? If they couldn't even get clean about the fact that they've committed these indiscretions, you won't trust them in everyday life. So the problem Tamika's having right now is that not that she can't forgive. The forgiveness, that's one part of it, yes. But the truthful nature is she isn't trusting him because he hasn't told the full truth and taken the full accountability for it. right? So they're both scared of going back to old ways. I hear that, and I guess you got to ask this question. Obviously, she said as well, he needs to own up and admit that he effed up. So it's not that he doesn't say that I've done something wrong. It's, let's be specific here. Tell me what happened. Oh, my bad. My bad. Like I know I hurt you. How did you hurt me? Because what the person's looking for is that you understand how you hurt them. Otherwise, if you don't understand, the next time you can do the same thing again. And at that point, when you can't describe to me and tell me what you've done, basically what you're saying is, you're just saying sorry to keep me to shut me up, rather than really thinking about it and say, actually, this is what I've done. I've made a mistake here. I've actually done X, Y, Z to you, and I can understand how it hurt you. Do you feel me? It's the same with the Hollywood and the Ashley situation. I said the same thing. I said the same thing with the Hollywood situation. He's got to sit in it. You apologize and you say what you done X, Y, Z, and you sit in it. And that means a process of time where you have to allow that person to acclimatize to the new climate that you've brought in. So when she then starts talking about the emoji, look how it turns into an argument. And
Separate over an emoji for 2 weeks, I got a problem with that. I don't care.
Than the emoji.
I don't care.
the reason why it turns into an argument, number one, because this is an issue that keeps coming up. Okay, so I can understand his frustration. Like, if this keeps coming up, it's a problem. We saw the way she reacted with the camera thing. It was mad, right? It was mad. The way she reacted with the camera thing was mad. You understand? But when the emoji situation comes up, it's like, look, the emoji situation where you got stressed about the puppy dog thing, yeah? I totally understand him. Blood, you should not be stressing about puppy dog.
The deal if nothing else happened prior to that. Before that, I found out that you lied about the girl coming out of your apartment that you won't own up to, and I don't care. I don't want to talk about that, whatever.
You should not be stressing about puppy dog that I liked a picture of a puppy dog. That's nonsense. Yeah? And any explanations you're going to bring is going to be nonsense. But I also understand the fact that because he hasn't admitted, because he hasn't been fully true, because of what he's done, he's caused this issue. Now, it's very different when a girl has been hurt in the past with a past relationship, coming into a new relationship and issues you the same leash you offered her ex situation, where it's like anything you do is a problem. That's different. But in this situation, in this relationship, there has been a breaking of trust. And the fact that she keeps saying to the point that he needs to own up tells me you're looking for something that he needs to say to you to make you feel comfortable. Not necessarily to be okay, but to start forgiving, right? So this emoji situation, I get both of their problem. Like, it's problematic because you're closing in the walls on me. You're making me feel stressed. I can't say anything about a woman or a woman about the opposite sex without you getting stressed about it. I don't want to be in a situation like that. I do not want to be in a relationship where I'm questioned about everything. And I have been in a relationship like this, where you have felt all of that. You have felt the person just everything you do with the opposite sex. You say a name and they're stressed. You like a tweet and they're stressed. You double like on a picture, they're questioning it.
This has been like 2 weeks.
Tell me about that.
I had previously worked with a model on a video shoot. The model posted a puppy Rottweiler. And
you have a conversation in DMs, it's a problem. A message pops on your phone, who's that then? It's like, yo, I can't have my mother doesn't even do that. I'm now living with an FBI agent in my home. I'm now living with a taxman in my home. Everything you seem to be questioning. It shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the case. Okay? So that's a big thing, And so I that was a huge thing for me. But she said, obviously, again, that although he admitted it, more kept on coming out. And I think this is where stress comes in. When someone owns something, and let me tell you something. Oh man, you guys know obviously about when I was talking about I got cheated on, innit? When I got cheated on, yeah, and I say cheated with a looseness because it was like we weren't together. It's a long story to explain, but basically, the person was telling me one thing, like they wanted to try and see where I was, but really they were out here doing it in the streets. Okay, but here's the thing: the person obviously, when they came clean to me, didn't tell me the full truth. They told me part of the truth. And every single time we spoke, more of the truth came out. Do you know how scary that was? Blood, I can't trust that person. No. I'd rather where you stay where you at. Because now I know that you can't be trusted. If I have to force the truth out of you and every single time more comes out, how much more will come out? You're acting like toothpaste. You're acting like toothpaste at the bottom where I'm trying to squeeze the bottom and I'm consistently squeezing the bottom and get a little bit out of the toothpaste. Just when it looks like it's flat and outdone, I squeeze a little bit more and more comes out. It shouldn't be the case. That's untrustworthy. You're unreliable. You know what I mean? We don't want that in a relationship. So I get that, you know. You know, and what was interesting is obviously the fact that she said obviously stay black and die. I was like, what? Tamika, I hope this is not something that you say and, you know, maybe the cameras haven't really been picking up. What? Stay black and die?
I don't care if you don't believe me.
You should want me to believe it.
I don't want you to do nothing but stay black and die. I'm not trying to break your heart.
Nigga, just be quiet.
Because you're annoyed. Stay black and die. For me, that was concerning. I said, whoa, like, sis, you need to bridle your tongue. No, real spit, you need to bridle your tongue. That can't be said. Stay black and die. It's a very heavy... Listen, look, I know she admitted it and said she's sorry that she said obviously, but no. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Saying to your partner, stay black and die. This is... You're not at the moment where he cheated anyway, sis. Like, this is not it. You're 2-3 years ahead of the time. Stay black and die is political, man. You know what I mean? And that comes from a place of hurt, deep-seated pain. And when you feel like he's pressing your buttons, when you feel like he's not listening, when you felt like right now he's not doing what you want to do to make you feel safe, that's your button you go to? Stay black and die? I was like, whoa. And so at that point, I also understood, I understood how, Vince felt. That's a madness. Can't be in a situation where your girl's telling you stay black and die. And this is 2-3 years after the situation's happened. No, I'm not about that, man. You know, I'm not about that. That's unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? And I know that she kept on saying he's a great guy. I heard this on the live. She said he's a great guy. Listen, I'm not saying that he's not a great guy, but a great guy doesn't necessarily have to be with you. He may be great. He just might not be great for you. You know what I mean? He may be great. He just may not be great for you. You know what I mean? And so the thing, I'm going to say it again. Here's the issue. Either you admit, sir, to the fullness that she needs it to be admitted to, or sis, leave. Because this will go round and round and round. This will come up later on if he makes one mistake. Even a mistake, and I'm not even talking about even a kiss or anything. One mistake where he says something that sounds bad, it's going to be an issue in the future. You know what I'm saying? And when they ended it, I was like, you didn't sort out anything. Nothing got sorted, you know. Nothing actually got sorted. When they ended it, nothing actually got sorted. I was like, blood, they haven't sorted out the argument. They haven't got to the conclusion. I didn't feel like they actually finished their argument. Then again, it may be the editing, you know what I'm saying? And so when obviously, you know, they have their meeting in terms of their consultations with Dr. Nicole, it's really, really interesting because I think she pulls out of him that, you know, he feels like he has to spend more time with her in order to make her feel comfortable and to make her feel safe. And for her, she feels like obviously that she doesn't know if she can get over this fully. Like, it's taken her 3 years to get over this, and she hasn't even got over it. So it's taken her 3 years to get over something, and she hasn't got over it. That's a deep-seated pain, bro. Yeah? Now, someone might say, well, she just needs to learn how to get over it. But I would say, listen, she's not going to until, and this is why I said that it's not over. That's why I said the argument didn't make sense. Unless maybe it's another week or whatever, and it's edited the way they put it. The argument doesn't make sense that they sorted it out because they haven't sorted it out. Because my girl's not over it.
Fear is that if I do ease up, he's gonna hurt me again. And I don't want him to. Hey, here's the thing.
You know, that she's holding on to resentment and she's scared of being hurt once more, right? And that fear of being hurt has closed her off to being open to solving this issue. You get me? And so when she has a date, she said, oh, I found my voice again. And I'm like, okay, so her voice got lost. I don't think the voice was the issue. The voice was a part of it. It wasn't the full issue. The full issue is you are not ready to let this thing go because you've not received the answers you want to receive. I don't think that's to do with your voice. I think that's to do with the fact that you are not willing to let go because you do not feel all the information has been pressed to you. If you go and get married with these sentiments and these feelings, it's going to erupt in the marriage, because the marriage is not, the marriage is a plaster to a deep-seated wound. Eventually, the plaster doesn't cover something that needs stitches. Do you see what I'm saying? So, and I totally agree with Dr. Nicole, where she says, obviously, Tamika needs to take responsibility. She does. And here's the responsibility. Leave or forgive. Leave or choose to forgive, not having all the answers. And I would say to you that it's very difficult to choose to forgive, not having all the answers, knowing that you feel like there's some more that could come out. And he now will be locked into a place where if there is more, he can never say it, because he knows what struggle he's gone through. And probably that's why he doesn't want to say it now, because he sees the struggle. You feel me saying? Yeah, man. Like, you don't want to be in a relationship where texts and calling has become an issue, where, you know, you can't be free to message somebody of the opposite sex because you feel like your partner's going to erupt into a new one. That's a half-hearted life. You don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I almost fell into a relationship like that in the past. And, you know, I knew the red flags were going on. I could see the alarm bells ringing. But because I thought like I understood and I cared for that person, and in this case, Vince is doing the exact same thing, in the sense of the fact that he knows he contributed towards her mind state and is willing to try and make it work. But like I said, the key is very simple. Give her oxygen, which means give her the truth and let her start breathing. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts as well down below. Let me know what you thought and we'll get talking about the show. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded.